Welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed, flip it, switch it, twist it. Interpret the message as it best resonates for you. Now, if you're not a Virgo and you want to watch a different zodiac, check out my Psychic Soul Healer channel. All important links, including my other YouTube channel links, will be in the description box below. You know what else will be in the description box? All my giveaways and whatever it is that you need to do to enter into winning a free psychic reading with me. And all it is going to be today is you have to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the day in your comment bar. The word of the day always comes from my Psychic Soul Healer deck. You know what? This card kind of just jumped out at me, and I don't know why. Oh, look, it's a healer card, like a Joker card. So if I pull that card, you could write the word healer. I would accept that word in your comment bar. But if you don't want to take that word, you can take this word, which is timelessness, and you can put that in your comment bar. You know, if I chose you, if I wrote the word winner underneath, if I did, we just correspond back and forth on YouTube, figure out the best time and day that works for the both of us, and you'll be able to find the link. It'll be really easy. I will post it right underneath our comments where we're corresponding back and forth right on YouTube. And if you have subscribed to the channel, you will get notified. So you won't have to worry about that. Now, I always feel like the card of the day, or the card that I pulled for the video, there's the underlining energy, right? The underlining energy of what the reading, what the reading really is about. And when I see timelessness, I think of soulmate. I think of past life, karmic mate. I feel like a love and hate type relationship. I feel a relationship that's full of passion and love, but also one that's very triggering. One that, like I said, transcends time and space because it's a past life karmic mate. And really what these relationships teach is unconditional love. They also teach forgiveness. They also teach that, again, love, there is no ownership, there is no expectation, it transcends all time and space. And that even with all the triggers, when the triggers, the emotional charge dissipates and the actual trigger is forgotten about, what remains is that unconditional love. So we're dealing with, again, an important connection is what I'm feeling. But like I said, this important connection doesn't necessarily mean you'll be with this person. What it means is it's an important connection because it's teaching you something, but it's also going to be a hard connection because, like you said, in the triggers, it brings up our own wounds. So let's take a look and see what's going on in your situation. Okay, let's see. What's going on? I act like I don't care when deep down I really do. So you're in separation with someone that's pretending that they don't care about you. I'm done playing games, and they're realizing they're realizing they need to change their approach because they still really do care. And what they're seeing is that even though they tried to walk away from this relationship, they tried to end this relationship, they tried not to care about this relationship, is a past life connection. It's an important connection. It's a spiritual connection. And they may not know that it's a spiritual connection by the word saying that it's a spiritual connection, but they feel that it's a profound connection because they usually don't fall this hard and they're usually full of games. I feel like you're dealing with player energy. Emotionally unavailable. So again, they still has a lot of healing to do. I dream of you. So a lot of, like, I feel like you're dealing with somebody that if they're the same age as you, they're emotionally immature. They come across as if they're immature energy. So they might not have a lot of experiences within relationships. So they don't like the intense feelings that they have with this connection. They don't like not having control over what they feel. And normally in their relationships, they always feel like they have the upper hand because they never really care that much. So they've never really had this type of deep connection, but it's making them a little bit like all over the place. Like 1 minute they really like are obsessed, the next minute they're not showing their feelings, the next second they would be getting angry. They seem to be all over the place. And the reason why is because they're not emotionally intelligent. That's why they're not emotionally available. Not emotionally available because this relationship is making them actually dive deep within inside themselves to feel their emotions. And that, which is something that I feel like this person avoids. I feel like they're a sensitive person that relied too much on their emotions at one time and it burnt them. So now they try and like navigate their life fully from a logical perspective, which works in business, but it doesn't work within their relationships. I'm ashamed of how I treated you. Yeah, again, because this person like is not emotionally intelligent. They come mainly from their ego, which is why they don't really know how to act. And they're like, 1 second, if you were to stalk them, what they would show is that nothing's wrong. They're happy, that they're in the time of life. If someone brings up your name, they're not going to say anything. They won't show any emotional expression. They guard their emotions, their feelings. They don't, and they don't know how to be in a relationship where they can be vulnerable. I feel like this person has major intimacy issues because, again, of wounds that they have from childhood, not even from other relationships, like trust issues, major trust issues. You make me nervous. It's again, and now understand that anytime we have a wound that, of trust, because if we grew up in an environment where we were taught not to trust, and that could be for anything from growing up in an alcoholic family to growing up with one parent that everything was on that parent and they couldn't do everything. So they did the best that they could, but they always tended to fall short showing up for your things that you had to do. Again, it's the child self. It's that perception. It's not that it's real. We have to say, where does a wound come from? Why does a person act the way that they act? And they act the way that they act because of the experiences that they've gone through. So the person that you're connected to, they don't have good experiences with people, starting with their own family. They were taught not to trust their family, especially their father, is what I'm feeling, like a father figure. So, they were taught not to trust. And so anytime they go back into a situation that, makes them be vulnerable and associate vulnerability with love, they get triggered because they were brought up in an environment not like not being able to feel safe and comfortable. Like I said, it's their view from the child's self. And a person that has a wound in childhood, until they integrate that spiritual wound, that inner child wound, it will become a shadow, like until it's integrated. And so the shadow part of your person is they wear a mask where they show that they don't care, that they don't have vulnerability, that they won't be vulnerable. But even though that's what they're showing on the outside, on the inside, they're like dreaming of you. They want to talk to you. They feel horrible about the way that they treated you. If they ever get another chance with you, they're done playing games, is what they're saying. And what they feel is that this relationship is an important relationship because, again, it's timelessness, and they can feel that because it's been not a day, not a year. For some of you, I feel like it's going on 6 years, others are 9 years, others 10 years, 18 years, like a long time, and not always together. Long periods of time of separation. So, which teaches this unconditional love that you can't control it. Where there's an essence where I feel like your person wanted to control the connection. You want to control the connection. You make this person nervous, so they want to, control the relationship by not showing any emotion and making you show emotion, by acting like they don't care, which kind of works in high school, but it doesn't work when you get older. It teaches you, you get the opposite results. So we can see if like this situation is triggering you. Let's see what else. Our story isn't over yet. So they clearly don't think that the story is over. And I feel like they purposely didn't end anything, and you purposely didn't end anything. You might not have liked the way that this person treated you. They don't like the way that they treated you. So clearly you wouldn't like it. However, the connection is undeniable. And being that there's still feelings there, they're like, I know that it's not over because I don't have closure yet. You didn't tell me that you don't want to ever talk to me again. You didn't say those words to me. So is what I'm feeling like. So there's a sense that because so many times you guys were together and then separated, and then we're together and then separated in this life and in past life, that there's an essence that both people don't really even want it to be over, can't even fathom what it would be like to be over, because even through lifetimes, there's a connection. With past life, there always is. ESP is of the heart and mind. It transcends all time and space. You feel that this person is with you, even though they're not with you, and vice versa, because there is that unconditional love there. A one-sided relationship. Now, the key and the issue is that both parties want control. Both parties were taught not to trust, and in their childhood, really. So your person navigates through acting like that they don't care, right? But they really do care. But they wanted it to be a one-sided relationship. So they don't have to give, so they don't have to get hurt, which they feel because they would, because they can feel that they have feelings for you already, and they don't have good relationships. Where I feel like with you, you're like, I'm not going to give a one-sided relationship. That's not what I want to do, which I feel like is why you separated from them, which is why they are like feel bad about how they treated you. Otherwise, this person might not have ever even realized that they treated you bad, because I feel like that's the norm of how they treat people. I don't know what I want. And that's because, again, this person's used to being like a free bird and not having responsibilities. And they know with you that you would make them be, accountable. You would make them like treat you with respect. And they're not used to having to do that. That you're dealing with someone that's very selfish. Like I said, one-sided relationship, and they are ashamed of the way that they treat you. But there's a sense of like I said, they would need to be vulnerable, and they don't want to act like as if they care. but then there's a sense of ownership where, again, our story isn't over. Like, and that's because I feel like it's not over, because what I see here is that the person is so emotionally not available that, even though that this is a soul connection, they have like an unrealistic expectation of what a spiritual connection is, even though there is a spiritual connection where both you can feel that there's chemistry, unless they feed the relationship, which they haven't done. They haven't done. Like they play games. They play games the whole time. It says it here. They're finally done playing games, but a lot of time has passed. So I kind of feel as if their realization has taken time. They didn't just have this awakening like, oh, I didn't treat you right. I feel like you had to leave. They had to have the realization that you left. And then they had to look at their behavior. And what they see is that they want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to be in a one-sided relationship. This is why they don't really know what they want and why they don't know whether they can step it up. I feel like I'm not good enough for you. And that's like, again, this person doesn't step it up, so they will never know whether they're good enough. And that's the thing. So there's a sense of really them knowing what they have to do and not really wanting to do it. But then they hide behind not having good self-esteem, where I feel like it's kind of like they're comfortable doing that, comfortable being in a place of, I don't want to have to put any effort in to this connection. I want you to do all the work. I don't want to be vulnerable. However, down deep inside, I care. I'm dreaming about you. I'm nonstop thinking of you. And psychically, I feel like we have connection in the 3D, but I'm not reaching out to you. I'm not doing anything for you. And you're not really giving anything, is what I'm feeling. But they feel like the story isn't over, and they kind of feel like they're I feel like they think that they can put you on hold. That they're like, I'm not going to talk to you, or I didn't end this, but I didn't let it go. It's kind of just frozen here. And like, it's okay because we have this connection that I'm going to be able to, to fix it. Is what the energy is here, where there's a lot of procrastination, where this person is not really coming forward, not saying anything, not apologizing, and it's just assuming a lot because of the connection. So I want to see like what the triggers are for you. Past. I had a hard time letting go of the past and letting the fear associated with it. So they manifested in chaos relationships. But I feel like this is with your person and also for you. This is where you're both mirroring each other. You both grew up in environments that were not safe, that didn't feel safe. And so when you're brought up in an environment and that's what you're taught, then your behaviorisms are in alignment with survival. So your person doesn't commit. They don't want to commit. They want to have one foot in, they want to have one foot out of the relationship. They kind of want the relationship only on their terms because they're afraid of getting hurt. But the thing is, they create all the chaos in the relationship because they keep bringing in like the original trauma into all their relationships, because they come in not being opened. If you're coming into the relationship protecting yourself, what you're saying is, I don't trust. And so unconsciously, your person looks for things in the relationship to make them feel like that what they're doing is right, which means that they're living mainly from their ego state of mind. So they're very easily triggered. They're not balanced at all. And they're not strong within themselves, which is why you make them nervous, because you come across as if you're strong within yourself. Even if you're not, the perception to them is that you are. So the thing is, you also grew up in an environment taught not to trust. And that also meant having a parent emotionally not be available to you, and this person also is emotionally not available. So you are recreating that dynamic, which is what your original wound is, where really it's which you already know, because I feel like you're in separation, and you're in separation because of this one-sided relationship. And now, like, you've brought this, like, this, the person that you're connected to does have feelings, but you've brought them to a place where they have to make a decision, like whether they're gonna, keep playing games and trying to hold on to you with the risk of really losing you, which they kind of know that they've played this hand as far as they're going to be able to play it, or to step it up. And they have anxiety about making this choice, because really what they need to do is what they refuse to do. They need to integrate the original spiritual wound, which was the trauma of not trusting someone that they loved at a very young age. So they have to learn how to be vulnerable, and they can do this, but it's not through being a one-sided relationship. I want to pull one more. Trust. So again, this is like, obviously this person doesn't feel like trust, but that has nothing to do with you. And that's because of all their past relationships that have that original wound in it from, again, how they grew up, not being able to trust their parent, and then having it play out within all their relationships, and now bringing that trauma into this relationship and not really trying, having one foot in, one foot out, not really giving because they're too afraid to get hurt. They have feelings, they want you to do all the work. And so you are like, I also have trust issues, because I had a parent not show up and emotionally not give me anything. And now you're doing the same thing. So I don't trust you. So straight across the board, what needs to happen, obviously, is your person needs to show you emotionally that they care. They need to be vulnerable. And for you, you would need to, again, be patient with this person. But let's see, like, what the wound is, and then we'll look and see how to heal and balance the situation. Because what we see is, again, that this person has feelings, but they're like, it's hiding everything. They're like too afraid to be vulnerable. And but the bottom line is, trust comes from, really being vulnerable, letting someone in and having them be there. So again, impatient, like, you have to watch with this, because it's, again, this person can trigger you, because like they want it, but they don't. They're emotionally not intelligent, so they're not going to show you anything. And if your happiness and your emotional stability and how balanced you are is going to come from this person, it's not going to fly, because they don't know how to do it. And like I said, in order for this to work, you'd have to be patient with them. And what came out was impatient. like like you most likely will be triggered a lot, because you'll be like, you're not doing it because of me. And really, it's because, not because of this person, it's because the original wound came from, again, the home that you were brought up in, and having your father not emotionally be able to show you that he cared, like, not be able to show you like that, where you didn't feel safe within the environment that you grew up in. Now, again, whether it was true or not, it's the perception of the child's self. So the wound is the fact that you have a perception of that, and you created the behaviorism then in wanting to come in to the relationship and needing to have like your person show you that they care, where this person doesn't know how to do that. This person is not emotionally intelligent. So if you're going to be with this person, you're going to have to be patient. And I said that before the wound actually came out. So we know that that is definitely like confirmation and regret. You want to also not be in a place of the grass is always greener on the other side. If you commit to being in this relationship, you have to, again, set yourself up for success where you emotionally take care of yourself, fill your life up with passions, interests, hobbies, things that again are going to stir up your soul, help you connect to other like-minded people so you emotionally get what you need so you can be patient for this person. So remember, this person is a soulmate twin flame. It's not that they don't have feelings. They have feelings. They don't express their feelings the same way that you do. They have wounds where you have strengths. You are emotionally intelligent. This person, Virgo, is not. They're probably intelligent in a lot of other areas, like business wise, like left brain things, things having to do with the earth. So that would be money, that would be, building things. They're good with, like I said, left brain things, opposed to you that's very emotionally intelligent. You're very spiritual. Now, like I said, you don't want to come from a place of regret, like you said, like, oh, wasting so much time. You have to again come to that place, because it's like I said, what can happen is really, which we see with the wounds are, what play out is again that you're being called to have patience and really to make a choice and stand by your choice without feeling like negative about it, like having regret about it, feeling like you're wasting your time because certain days your person may not get it right away. And like I said, this relationship can work, but it's going to require you to change. And what it's requiring you to change is what it's requiring you to heal. So this is why, like I said, and even for your person, they have to learn patience because they're used to doing everything their way. Not being in a one-sided relationship. And there's a sense if they don't learn it, they will be in full regret because they can feel the connection that they have with you. So you both have the same wound and need to integrate it the same way. However, your process will be different because you're different. Now let's just look at the hidden truths. This one's popping out. I bury myself in work to forget you. So if you're wondering how this person, like again, how it is a soulmate twin flame just shut it off like that. They didn't. It's again, they overwork. I feel like they drink. I feel like they escape. So they didn't. They just channeled that emotional energy into doing something. But it bothered them. And what they saw is that they still had feelings. I left you before you could be to me. I feel like this person like knew that exactly what you wanted and tried to like string it along for as long as that they could. And I feel like emotionally that they checked out. I feel like you're actually the one that left before they did, but they actually, no one really left because no one actually said the words, which is why your person feels like this connection isn't over. A lot of times we say things, but then we go back together again anyway, because love is that way. Well, that one kind of just popped out, so we're gonna take it, pull onto the ground, and we're gonna take it. I know I was a distraction from your pain. So I always take this as, again, our soulmate, our twin flame, it comes into our lives to show us our wounds. Really, it's to also make us step into the best version of ourselves, because there is this unconditional love. And what I feel is that there was so much passion and so much chemistry in the connection. But again, your person not wanting to tap into their feelings and their emotions, and not knowing how to be in this relationship, and keeping you in a place of limbo where they're not committing and they're also not letting you go, is actually keeping them having a distraction, because you're there. They're still focusing on you. They're still giving you energy. They're just kind of, keeping you in the freezer per se, and thinking that you're going to be okay with that or go along with that. And that's, I believe, is where they are wrong. But what they're doing is they're distracting themselves from their pain, because they, again, have to look at their life and see that it's really a shallow life, and that, the way that they were going about everything was kind of toxic, and that that they could either be right or they could be in a relationship, because it's, again, for a long time it seems like this person only cared about being right, getting things on their terms, not being vulnerable, making you give everything, playing games, and doing everything to keep themselves busy, to not think about you, to not care, to make it look like they don't care, in hopes that you would bend. And what they see is that, really it backfired, where, like, they've met their match. Like, you're not gonna bend, you're not gonna do that. So it's, again, I believe that your person likes to, like, play games, and for you, you're like, I think that I was a distraction from them, because while I was there, they didn't have to really look at their problems. They kind of toyed with me. I was going along with everything until I didn't anymore. It's too many. But we'll see what came out. I knew exactly what I was doing. My life is not as together as it feels. Time for me to heal now. So we were to take those, in which I feel like they did know exactly what they were doing when they did it. I feel like they're regretful now, though, because now you're not there. Now they're forced to look at everything. But there still is a sense of, we have that connection. I feel like it's just going to work out. So whether it's realistic, not realistic, it doesn't matter. This is what they feel, because they've never had it like a connection like this, where they haven't been able to be in full control, but they realize, like, after all, they're like, well, I still have feelings for you, and instead I'd rather, like, get caught up in, like, being right. So that's how they realize that it's really time for them to heal now. So they're like, I'm making myself miserable. And what I see is, it's like that I feel like they think that you can actually see that their life isn't as together as it seems. I feel like that they tried to make it look like that, and that's part of the reason why they wouldn't let you get that close, because they created a facade. But I feel, by the way that they treated you, that now they're kind of thinking to themselves that you can see that their life isn't all together, and they're embarrassed by that. So, like, again, they're not balanced, because at the time they thought that, like, they were coming across cool. They thought that you were going to come back crying and want to be in this relationship and fight for the relationship, and ask them why they weren't pursuing and how come they weren't committing, when really that's not really what's happened. You know what I mean? You're like, you've been through this too many times before that you're like, unless I see that you're going to give something to this relationship, I'm not going to give anything. And then this is what they realize. But now they're embarrassed. Now, like I said, now I feel like they are in regret because they also know that they made you wait. And maybe you are impatient and that you're not going to be patient with them because they also took so long and they know that they wouldn't want to wait. They know that they wouldn't want to be treated this way. So in actuality, when you walked away, you made this person look at the way that they treated you. And what I feel like they see is that they made you they took out on you, like what has happened with past relationships. So if they were in a past relationship with a cheater, then they went into this relationship with you where they just didn't even give anything to this relationship because they were like, I don't trust you. As almost as if you cheated, even though you didn't cheat. And that's because they didn't heal anything. They're just going from one relationship into the next relationship with their baggage. So it's again that this whole reading is about how their past has influenced this connection. And because their past has such a hold on them, they don't like show like that they care because they, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to fix it. And in the fact, they are ashamed of how they treated you because they're like, this relationship was real. I didn't think that it was a real relationship. I treated you the way that I treat everybody. Like I didn't really, like you said, I feel like this person didn't think, but they're looking, they're like, I'm ashamed of how I treated you because it was a one-sided relationship, and it's mainly because I'm nervous. You make me nervous. I like everything to be on my terms. And it's mainly because I don't really feel like I'm good enough. So I don't really want you that close to me. I'm not emotionally available. I mean, because our life isn't fully together. It's like, so, like you said, instead of fixing what they know that they needed to get fixed, they tried to be in this relationship their way instead of healing themselves. And I don't feel like there's anyone in their life right now, but because of past relationships, there might as well be, because the baggage that this person is bringing in to this connection, it's as if every single relationship that they've been in is with them, that they haven't really fully ended because they never integrated the spiritual lesson. They never understood why their relationships ended the way that they did. And they all have the same karmic theme, the same situations that play out. So now they're just like convinced that this is just how relationships go, when that this is not how relationships go. They were like, I knew exactly what I was doing, but you knew exactly what you were doing based on what you thought was happening. And what was happening wasn't what was happening. We see what we look for. So, like I said, what your person's realizing now that you're not with them and that you're separate and that they've made an ass of themselves is that it's time for them to heal, because they're like, because they know that the relationship, in order for it to move and to progress, it really has to, they have to be the one that comes forward. They have to be the one that shows vulnerability. I feel like you did that already for this person. You cared about this person. It's not like you didn't care about this person. So I want to see what this person is going to do. What is this person going to do? Virgo. Because what I see is that they're like want to heal, and that I can't hide my true feelings anymore. I love you and I want to spend my life with you. So it's again, this talked about how they hid their feelings, how they hid their feelings. So they pretty much know that you're someone that's important and that they want to, again, fix this relationship, and that you're someone like that's not just a spiritual connection, but someone that's going to change their life, someone that, again, that they've chosen, and not somebody that was bullied, because like I said, this person never gives anything in their relationship. They make other people give in their relationships, and that is why their relationships never work out. And so with you, you kind of like made this person give to you, because it's not like there's anyone in their life. It's just they don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to get hurt. But you also had a spiritual lesson to learn here, and that was to not go along with what they wanted to do, because you then would have relived the karmic theme of emotionally not getting what you need. But because you did what you needed to do for yourself, that made this person realize your importance. And now at this point, because you're not showing them anything and you're not giving them anything, and they're realizing that this is such a strong connection, they're like, I'm gonna burst at the seams, is what I feel like. They are like, I need to say something, I need to fix this, I need to. So I don't feel as if they know exactly the day and time, because there's a lot of anxiety still around it. There's still a little bit of healing that they need to do. But what this is saying is, as the days go by, it's getting harder and harder for them to stay away, to not want to reach out to you, to not want to fix this. And so they're just going to one day reach out, call you, come into your life, expect that it'll probably be really fast and really unexpected. But that's because this person usually lives their life from a very logical standpoint. They are in full control of their emotions and don't like to show vulnerability. So because they're not emotionally intelligent and they've been suppressing their feelings, it's almost like, think of it almost like when you take the cork out of a champagne, that you shook up the champagne, it's like it explodes. This person has been squashing their emotions, squashing their emotions, squashing their feelings for you. And you can't destroy love. You can't manipulate it. You can't squash it, even though this person has done everything to squash it, has done everything to ignore their intuition. It's like at this point, it's like they can't hide it anymore. But who knows when they're just not going to have the strength anymore to hold back. It's almost like one day they're just going to do it. I'm going to leave that there for you. Now, Virgo, you let me know if you resonated with this. If you did, let me know. Give me a like, comment the word, again, timelessness, or if you want, you can, again, do healer, because whenever I pull this card, it's the healer card. It's the Psychic Soul Healer deck. But if, again, you can write the word timelessness in your comment bar. And like you said, you'll know if I chose you, if I wrote the word winner underneath. And if I did, we'll just, again, talk on YouTube. And if you are interested in shadow healing, definitely check out my coaching programs. $7.99, you definitely can't beat it a month for inner child healing, shadow healing, reparenting, and all the healing modalities. $7.99 a month, prizes, games, giveaways. Become part of a healing community, get the support from not just me, but from the community. It's like I said, there's no easier way to heal than it is now with the internet. Like I said, you can change your life and make the rest of your life the best of your life. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.